1, and a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Welcome back, everybody. In this video, our focus is going to be exercise number 6 from Solo Guitar Playing 1 by Frederick Noad. And in exercise 6, we are simply continuing to review the notes on the upper 3 strings, the first string, which is E, the second string, which is B, and the third string, which is G. All right, those are the only 3 notes that we have to worry about. And obviously reviewing the note values: a quarter note receiving 1 count, a half note receiving 2 counts, a dotted half note receiving 3 counts, and a whole note receiving 4 counts. Now in exercise 6, we are in a time signature of 3/4. So that top number, that 3, is telling us that each measure is going to have 3 counts, which is why in the exercise when I played it, I was counting to 3 and not 4. The bottom number, the 4, is telling you that the quarter note is going to receive the count. So the quarter note is going to receive each of those counts. 1, 2, 3 means there will be 3 quarter notes, which you could a really simple way to read it a really simple way to read the time signature is 3 quarter notes per measure, and the 3 being the top number and the 4 being the quarter note. 3 quarter notes per measure. If you remember in exercise 4, we had a 3 and a 2 on the bottom. You could have read that as 3 half notes per measure, okay? And that half note being the one that receives the count. All right. So let's see what else. I and M alternation. So if you start playing the exercise with your middle finger, then you're going to continue by playing the next note with your index finger, and then back to middle, and then back to index. M I M I M I. If you start by playing the exercise with your index finger, then it's going to be I and then M and then I and then M. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure that you play the exercise at least twice. One by starting with the index, and then a second time by starting with the middle finger, and then 2 more times, one time playing all rest strokes, and then one time playing all free strokes. So you don't just play it once and move on. We can practice a number of other things. And the last thing that you will be focusing on is the string crossing, the awkward string crossings. So let's quickly review that. You know what? Let's just go through the exercise and I'll walk you through those string crossings as we get there. So let's play through exercise 6 measure by measure. Let's break it down. And let's start with our middle finger. If you place your thumb on the 4th string, that would be ideal. That way you don't have to worry about your thumb changing strings. It's going to be closest to all of your fingers without having to move your thumb. Like you could put your thumb on the 2nd string when you play the 1st string, but then when you play the 2nd string, you are going to have to move the thumb. So let's just put it on the 4th string and we never have to worry about that. All right. So what did I say? Middle finger first. So the first measure, we have M followed by I, and that's going to line up perfectly with our right hand. Middle finger playing the string that's further away from our hand. Index finger playing the string that's closer to our hand. So on the count of 3, first measure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple. Second measure, we have an E played with our middle finger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay. Measure 3, we are now starting with our index, since the previous note we played our middle finger. On the count of 3, measure 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So far, no instances of awkward string crossings. We play I, M, I. Everything's laid out perfectly. Measure 4, we have the E played with our middle finger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. So that's halfway through the exercise. No awkward string crossings yet. Let's move on. Let me double check to see what finger we're on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so now on measure 5, we are using our index finger for the B's in measure 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I am I. Now in measure 6, we're playing the G with our middle finger, and there is our first instance of awkward string crossings. Our index finger is playing a string that's further away from us, or our shorter finger, and then our longer finger, being the middle finger, is playing a string that's closer to us, and that's going to create that awkward string crossing. Okay, so just watch for that. So here we go, measure 6, starting with our middle finger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That B is played with our index finger, and that is also another instance of awkward string crossing. Okay, measure 7, we're playing the E to begin with our middle finger, so we're back to non-awkward string crossings, I guess you could say, just playing normal. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's one more awkward string crossing. We played, let's see, I'll break down measure 7. We played the first E with our middle, second E with our index, and then the B with our middle finger, and again, that is another instance of awkward string crossing. Our index finger playing the string that's further away, our middle finger or our longer finger playing a string that's closer to us. And then one more awkward string crossing to finish it off, playing the high E one last time with our index finger, counting to 3, and you're done. All right? And when you swap it around, so when we start now with our index finger, we have different instances of awkward string crossings now, and I'm going to leave that one up to you. So again, you're going to want to practice a number of things and make sure that you review. Well, you will be no matter what. I mean, it's forcing you if you're playing the exercise. So you'll be reviewing, obviously, the note values, quarter note receiving 1 count, half note receiving 2 counts, dotted half note receiving 3 counts, and whole note receiving 4. There are no whole notes in this exercise because we are only playing, in a time signature of 3/4, whole notes 4 counts. It won't fit in any of these measures, so you don't have to worry about that. Reading the different notes themselves, E, B, or G, being able to identify the difference moving when the notes are moving up and down across the staff lines and spaces. The awkward string crossings is going to be another one. And of course, playing this at least 4 times so that you can practice your free strokes, you can practice your rest strokes, you can practice alternating by starting with your index, and then of course practicing by starting with your M and alternating M-I, M-I, M-I. And that's it, okay? So practice it, and when you're ready, I will see you in exercise number 7. 1, 2, 3.